What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the DS Asylum. I'm your warden, Demetrius Trine, and this is the fourth time I've done this intro, and I'm not happy about it. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the newest 2.1 or 2.0, whatever the fuck, update for Dragon Ball Legends that just happened today as of recording this video, yesterday as you guys are seeing this video, and I am joined here by my mans
Tonica Tato. Make sure you go check me out in the description below.
And we are going to go over the good, the bad, and the stupid of this update. And knowing Bandai Namco, there's going to be a lot of stupid. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the new co-op mode that just came out, honestly, I don't have too much to say about it. I had fun playing it. I like it. Unfortunately, it has the same lag problem that PvP has, which, while we're on the subject, PvP has somehow gotten ridiculously worse. Like, there's usually a lot of lag, but as you guys will see on the screen right now, I just pulled Blue Goku off of this new Celebration banner, and I just maxed him out. I wanted to try him, on my God Key team with Rose. So I went and tried and do some rating matches. The most horrendous lag I had ever seen in the game up to that point, or really any game I've ever played. One match that only lasted about, I want to say, 60, 70 counts, took nearly, I think, 10 minutes. And then the second match started so bad, I didn't even make it 10 counts into the match before I just forfeit and just stopped playing. I was done. PvP has somehow gotten so much worse in the past 24 hours. But aside from that, co-op does not have... the lag in co-op is not that bad. But it is present. You will experience it. But it doesn't ruin the experience at all. It's a fun mode. I just wish, they would get rid of that lag. But one other thing that I want to mention about the co-op mode are the dual medals, whatever they're called, that you get from, beating them. And at first glance, the prizes that you can exchange them for were really good because it's multi-Z power. But then you read it and it says that they can only be exchanged on characters, or used on characters that are 5 stars or over, which is really dumb. I don't see why they would do that. That almost completely defeats the purpose of using multi-Z power, because I feel like you would only ever use it to get a unit to 5 or 6 stars, right? Like if you have a 2-3 star unit, you would use it to get them to 5 stars. That's what I would use it for anyway. I wouldn't use it on a 5-star unit. I have no reason to use that on a 5-star unit. But I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like it should have just been normal multi-Z power. Should have just been able to use it, especially since it costs 3,000 dual medals. You have to do a lot, and I mean a lot, of co-op to get 3,000 dual medals. You only get like 10 to 20 medals per win, not including the bonuses that you only get 3 times a day. So that was handled pretty poorly, just like the Legends tickets. They could have done much better. It was a great idea, but it was, as usual by Bandai, executed horribly. But I'm gonna move on now to the next point, and that point will be the horrendous decision that was the new way to limit break characters. So, as you guys will see in a second, they really made limit breaking so confusing. It used to just be, 0 to 7 stars. Well, 0 to 7 for heroes, 1 to 7 for extremes, 2 to 7 for sparkings. It's a lot more complex now for no reason, so let's get right into that. Alright, so, yes, you read that transition slide with Ginyu Goku on it correctly. 14 stars. That's how many stars we can now have, but they didn't just add 7 stars. No. They completely fucked up the star system that we had. So, from what I can gather, 3 stars now boost stats instead of Z ability. And so does 5, with 4 and 6 boosting Z ability. 7 star, I guess boosting stats again. And then the other 7, basically the amount of Z power that one would need between 6 and 7 stars are the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 plus. They're not actually 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. They're like 6 plus, 7 plus, 5 plus. It's weird and entirely unnecessary. I don't understand why they did that. If they wanted to make it so that, characters became stronger, they could have just made it so that units got both a stat buff and a Z ability buff with 3, 5, and 7. Instead of just adding 7 more stars that don't really mean anything. Especially since anyone who was at 5 stars before is now at either 6 or 7. And because of that, you get these 6-star stats that you had before, or that you never even had to begin with. So before the update, my Sparking Zamasu was at 5 stars with 4-star stats. Now, he has his 6-star stats and is at 6 stars. Units like the original Kaioken Goku, he was at 5 stars, he's now at 7. I don't understand how that works. Same with Heart Virus Goku, he's at 7 now. My Pan, who was at 6 stars, is now at like 8 or 9 or some crap. The hero units that I had at 6 stars are now at like 10. I don't understand what's going on here, and I don't understand why it needed to be done. What do you think might have been the reason? I don't like what's your opinion on this?
To be honest, I honestly really couldn't say, because I do think it was just dumb, because there's really like no purpose. Like, the units were already fine as is, and I feel like the boost was unnecessary. Like, I guess there was a group of people who thought that they could probably be stronger, but at that point, there are a lot of broken units in the game, and there are some bad ones. I mean, it did justice for the bad units.
I suppose. And like I said, if you really wanted to make units more powerful, then give them additional stat buffs at 3, 5, and 7.
Or just add them towards the Zenkai Awakening that they just implemented in the game for Beerus, Day 1 Goku, and Day 1 Broly.
Yeah, speaking of which, great first 3 units. You chose the first unit released in the game, a Broly that no one has used since about a month after he came out, and the first Legends Limited units that most people don't even have at 5 stars, let alone 7. So, what the hell? Of all the units, why not the most recent units? That would have made the most sense. Now, I understand. It's just like in Dokkan, not everyone gets their awakening, right away. Who just got their awakening? Like, just recently? Wasn't it Vegito? Who just recently got his awakening?
Vegito just got announced for his Extreme Z awakening.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. Not every unit gets their Zenkai awakening right away, but you could have chosen better units. And I don't think a Legends Limited unit should ever be in that scenario. Because even now, with the weird way stars work, it's still not easy to get a unit to 7 stars. Like, even though there's now 14 of them, 7 still isn't easy. 7 is still the equivalent of like 5 or 6. So you still have to pull a unit a good number of times before they get there. So I just don't understand why. I mean, granted, most people have or already had day one Goku with 5, 6, 7 stars, so he's easy to Z awaken or Zenkai awaken. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even have day one Broly. Like, I actually don't.
Either.
Nor do I have Beerus.
I don't have Beerus either.
So it's just like, I guess I can Zenkai awaken the Goku. Thanks. I'm not gonna use him though, because his stats will probably still be shit in comparison to someone like Rose or Kid Buu or, Super Vegito. These top tier units that I have. He's still not gonna, be able to do anything against them. So I just feel like there could have been better units for that. And as far as the star system is concerned, it's confusing. They didn't tell us anything about it. In fact, they didn't even tell us it was changing. Like, if you go through the news and stuff, nothing about that is even there. They mentioned the level cap, which the level cap did go up to 5,000, which, by the way, makes this Battle 51 event so incredibly easy. All the videos of people struggling with it, I wait one extra day and just right through it. But, so that's pretty cool. I also called that back during the anniversary. I said that the next and final level cap would be 5K, and I was right. Which will lead into my next brief subject, but just to close this one out, because I've been talking about it for a while. It's an unnecessary change. Like I said, if you really wanted to make the unit stronger, they should have just had stat buffs on every single star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all should have just had stat buffs with Z ability buffs on 3, 5, and 7. That's all you needed to do, and it would have worked out perfectly fine. I am not against the units becoming more powerful, because the more powerful units become, the same the game plays. It doesn't change how the game plays. The game plays the same with units at level 5,000 as it did back when they were all level 300. Just the numbers are all bigger. That's it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't actually change anything. So I'm all for it, but you could have done it in a better way. But let me very briefly talk about the whole level cap thing. With the level cap now being at 5,000, I mentioned this in my last video on Dragon Ball Legends, that Super EXP does not give you enough EXP. As you can see here, this is double EXP. This should be half of what we're actually getting on a normal EXP. With the level cap now being 5,000, we need to be getting like 1.2 mil with normal EXP, let alone double EXP. I don't know, it's just like, it takes forever, and it must be a pain in the ass to be a new player in Dragon Ball Legends. Like, if you just downloaded the game today, it must be a pain in the ass trying to get your day one Super Saiyan Goku up to fucking level 5,000.
I mean, yeah, it's good that, they decided to add the level cap because everybody was waiting for it. But when you think about it, it's like, after that, you got to start thinking about new players that are getting recommended the game. And then when they go in, sure, they're going to get a few, like, welcome things here and there because they're new players. But the game doesn't really help you after that because you don't just start with a crap ton of training items. Like, they'll give you an amount just so that you know how the game works, but after that you have to fend for yourself, and going from 0 to 5,000 isn't very easy.
No, with only getting 600,000, and God forbid, or God help the people that, download the game after double EXP is over, they're going to have to try and get up to level 5,000 with 300,000 EXP every 2 energy. Keep in mind, it still costs 2 energy. Maybe if they dropped it down to 1 energy, and made like 600,000 the normal EXP rate, maybe. Because it doesn't take like forever. It takes around about 10 to 15 minutes to get someone from level 1 to level 5,000. Which
also the money problem. Like, new players aren't going to have as much Zenny, and just like you were talking about today, you like burned through everything you had just because.
Yeah, like yesterday, I had over 1 billion Zenny. I'm now sitting at almost 400 million, and I'm nowhere near done leveling up my characters. It's just ridiculous. Now, granted, I have a lot more characters than a new player has. I have over 100 characters. A new player isn't going to be, trying to level up in 700%, 90 different sparking units. But the fact of the matter is they will have sparking units to level up and to 700%, and they won't be able to. Because they're just the game just does not give you the resources to do so. I've burned through a lot of energy tickets. Thank God that I had energy tickets to get from the exchange shops. But I've burned through a lot of 3 energy tickets. And the only reason I've been able to do as much as I have is because the bonus battles do give you the 2 energy tickets. And I found that for every 10 energy you spend, you end up getting around 6 in the 2 energy tickets back. So at the end of the day, I'm only actually spending, 4 energy every single time I deplete my tank, which is a lot less than 10. So it kind of makes up for that. But when it comes to the Rising Souls and the Zenny, new players just aren't going to have the resources to do it. And I love how I said briefly, and you know what? Whatever. Next, we are going to talk about some PvP stuff that had allegedly been updated. So you had found the stuff that they had allegedly updated. So why don't you go through that for us real quick?
Alright, so in the patch notes that they gave out to all the players, it says that they increased the range for tackles, like the priority, I'm assuming, like tackles. They said that tackles now beat tap attacks, so tackles now have priority over tap attacks.
Which is actually pretty weird, because before this, Rising Rush was the only thing that could beat out a tap attack.
Strike arts will not lose to tackles.
Finally.
Even if used just before being hit.
Oh, thank God. That's actually a really big thing. That pissed a lot of people off. Now, if only they did that for ultimates.
Now they're damage scaling long combos.
Now, is it damage scaling up or down?
It says threading tackles in between arts cards made it easier to chain and extend combos. Due to this, the amount of times players were unable to act while being attacked with the combo increased, and the attacking player could wait longer for their substitution count to decrease. To help with this, we've made the disadvantage of dealing lower damage with longer combos more equal to the benefit of running substitution timer counts down.
So basically,
it got damage scaled, and they're also going to help that with the substitution count.
Yeah. So, keep going.
The next one was prevention of key and vanishing gauge while recovering, moving backward during back steps.
I actually ran into that problem a lot. I would be, backing up because that's how you usually got key. But sometimes my key would go down, or not my key, my vanish would go down instead of up when I was trying to recover. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, I can't actually tell if they fixed it. I haven't gotten a chance to test it because, the 2 matches I did were laggy as hell. But yeah, I would assume it's fixed.
For whoever watches the video, I'm pretty sure whoever experienced it online, but there was a huge backdash problem where people would be, backdashing and stuff to recover their vanish gauge, to do perfect vanishes, so that they can catch their opponents and get them into those longer combo strings.
Yeah.
The next one was adjustment to the penalty for retreating at long range. So it read as another adjustment to further discourage players from continuously retreating while at long range until their opponent acts. In addition to the penalty where continuously retreating at long range causes the player to lose vanishing gauge, it will also cause their ki to reduce over time. So
they really just don't want you to be at a long range, basically. They want you to be close to each other.
Long story short, I feel like range characters, like, I know this might sound dumb, but I feel like range characters are getting nerfed.
Pretty much, like and any Ki Blast character is about to get nerfed into oblivion because you don't want to use key cards at a close range. That's how you get tap attacked. Like, that's how you get tap attacked and tackled, and how you get beat by Cooler or transforming Vegeta blast armor.
So the next one, there was character adjustments. The following characters will no longer have their unique abilities unlocked upon class up, but will have them unlocked from the beginning. And I'm not going to go through all the categorized numbers that they have each of the units, but there's a Chaozu, and I'm going to go through it all in order. Some of them may repeat. There's a Chaozu, Nappa, Zarbon, Dodoria, Captain Ginyu, Jaco, Tien, another Chaozu, Android 20 and 19, Vegeta, Cooler, and Goku. And I don't know if these are all hero or extreme units.
I know some of them are extremes. Some of them are... The Ginyu might have been like the Sparking Ginyu. I don't know. I know Android and 20, because I remember unlocking second abilities when they got to when they limit broke to a certain point. So those two were extremes. That's interesting, I guess. I mean, soul boosting is such a basic thing. It doesn't really matter, like, whether or not something an ability is hidden behind a class up or not, because if you're not maxing out your units, what's the point? Like, you're gonna want to max out those units anyway. So, from what it seems like, they're nerfing range types. So, like, units like Extreme Zamasu, Extreme Beerus, Blue Goku, Android 13, characters like that, normal 13, not Fusion 13.
There's Golden Frieza.
Yeah, Golden Frieza.
For Saiyan teams.
Golden Frieza, who else? I can't think of any off the top of my head. But, like, characters like them...
Wasn't Super 17 a ranged character? Wasn't Super 17 a ranged character?
I have no idea.
If people even still use him?
They really don't. He died in, like, 3 weeks. But, like, they seem to be trying to nerf that with the whole penalty for backing up. They are fixing unique abilities, I guess. Not really a fix, more of like a appease to new players, I guess. I don't know what the point of that is. It seems irrelevant to me. But, what about that one juicy part that I called bullshit on?
Well, for this one, certain characters' arts behaviors has been changed to match other characters. So, for certain characters, combos could be chained by using special moves after ultimate skills. So, like, when somebody would pop their main ability to get them their ultimate, then they'll do the ultimate, but then they could do a special right afterwards, which is, really, like, broken.
Mm-hmm.
So
CPU does that shit all the time.
So, for, like, certain characters, combos would change special or using consecutive. They made adjustments so that it can't happen anymore. And the affected characters and combos, number one on this list, I don't know if this is the Legends Limited one, but Super Saiyan Goku, special move after ultimate skill. Final Form Frieza, consecutive special moves. Super Saiyan Trunks Teen, special move after ultimate skill. And Android 18, special move after ultimate skill.
Yeah, Perfect Cell is one that does that shit a lot. Like, whenever the CPU does it, it's usually like, a solar Kamehameha followed by a normal Kamehameha. And it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm glad they changed that. But didn't one of those patch notes say that they tried to fix the lag?
Oh.
Yeah, you made it worse, Bandy. Bandy, you made it worse. But,
So apparently, so that Super Saiyan Goku was Day One Goku.
Yeah. Oh, also, LF Goku doesn't have an ultimate. He just has the super attack. So, yeah. I don't... Again, there are some things that didn't need to happen, like the star system changing, this unique ability thing. There are some things I'm very glad changed, like, this whole special after ultimate debacle. The co-op mode is fun. I have no issues with the co-op mode itself. It's just it's laggy, and the things you get from the exchange shop are pointless. For the amount of medals that you have to spend to get just 30 Z power, it's not even like it's 600 or something. It's 30 Z power for 3,000 medals, and you have to use it for characters that are 5 stars or above. That's probably the biggest thing. That and the EXP are probably the two biggest things about this update that almost completely ruin it.
Well, for all those who actually, for all those who want a good Frost unit, even though, the game Bandai knows that we're never going to get one, for all you Frost fans out there, they increased the intensity of Final Form Frost's special arts Poison Needle attack, making it more useful against Strike Arts and other attacks.
Again, I'm guessing just means it overrides strike attacks, but that's still useless when his stats are awful. So, we just need a Sparking Frost at this point. Preferably one that boosts Universe 6. But this video is already closing in on almost a half hour. So, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the update. Do you think the update was a good update? Do you think it could have been better? If it could have been better, what would you have added or changed or not put in to begin with? I already said what I would change, the multi-Z power thing. I'd add more EXP to the Super EXP and make it cost 1 energy, because there's no reason for it to cost 2 energy at this point. Give more resources, give the ability to get more resources for new players, because now it's just going to be a pain in the ass to be a new player. And will I end up sticking with the game? No. I will probably do one more stream, like I said I would, but it'll probably just be an entire stream of co-op stuff. That's probably it, just so that I can try and grind out some medals. And that'll probably be the last thing I do with the game, because the lag and the bullshit in PvP, they're still not changing anything got to do with Rising Rush. They said they addressed the lag, but the lag is even worse than it was before. As I said before, they didn't fix anything. All they did was add new problems, and they did fix a few things, but they were all minor things in the grand scheme. In the grand scheme of everything, they fixed such minor things when they needed to focus on the bigger picture. They could have done all the stuff that they did with, those PvP updates, just in some random maintenance. They didn't need a huge 2.1 update for that. This should have actually addressed things that it didn't. And that's my problem. Nothing really changed. It's the same game with some new features. And that's just not enough to keep me and a lot of people interested in the game. So, half an hour later, that's about all I've got to say. Is there anything else you want to add, before I leave us?
Well, if there's anything I did want to add, the video here is basically just giving a standpoint. Shouldn't really be anything like throw shots or anything. You can say it is, but at the same time, it's also pointing out mistakes that should have been covered. For those who have any problems, we'll link the Discord down in the description. So if you have any problems you want to talk about, then it's an open discussion, always up for debate. anytime, if you feel like, this is just personal opinion. It's not something like anything, and if it controls it, then it controls it, but until then, this is how it's going to be.
Yep. At the end of the day, if you like what the update did, that's your right. I like what the update added, but what it added wasn't enough for me. They said this co-op mode had been in development for over half a year. Why focus on this mode when your game already has problems with online that need to be addressed long before you add in another online mode? It didn't make too much sense to me. Again, I like the co-op mode. I had fun doing it. I plan on doing it more. Just because it's fun. I want to see what wacky character combinations I can put in there. And see what I can get away with. See what type of units I can get away with. And I look forward to seeing what they can do with the co-op mode in the future. But that's really the only positive thing I can say about the whole update. And that one positive thing also has, one downside, and that's the lag. The lag is a thing. So even the one thing I do like about the update has a bad thing associated with it. So it's not my thing. Dragon Ball Legends has been driving me away for months now. And I'm not 100% done, but I'm about 90-95%. This game, I'd say I have maybe a month or so left. I'll probably play it till the end of 2019, and then 2020, well, I'll honestly just have to see how I'm feeling. For all I know, I may end up selling the account, like legitimately. Don't hold me to that, but it all just depends on how I'm feeling, because this update just didn't really do it for me. But as I said, and as he said, Discord will be linked below. If you have, any problems, if you disagree or agree with anything that I said, be sure to join the Discord. We can get that discussion going. Leave a like if you enjoyed and actually made it to the end of the video. Leave a comment, share the video around so that we can get as many eyes on it as possible. Check out Tago. His channel will also be linked in the description below. And that's pretty much it. So thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.